Before we get started with the show, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Atmos Planning, financial planners turning visionaries into meaningful millionaires. Our second sponsor of the day is Planet Duct. Reach out to them for any of your air duct cleaning needs. Now, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast, the #1 podcast in Colorado Springs. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I am the host of the show. Today, we have back on for the second time, I always want to say Charissa. I swear to God, I read it so many times. Every time I go to say your name, I go to say Charissa. I'm so sorry.
Please don't apologize.
I'm going to call you Grace from now on.
Grace works. I love it.
Okay, so please help me with your name.
Yes, Charissa
It's
Woodward.
the most easiest name, and I messed it up.
It's not an easy name. There's so much grace for you. It's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sweet. So you run Grace to Organize.
Yep.
And how's that been for you?
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so with the last, I guess 6 months, it's been maybe even 7 months since you've been on the show. Yeah. How's that been? You know, things opening up with COVID, kind of, residual, or was that even an issue?
Well, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, it went through fluctuations, my business did. And there were a few months there when we were in shutdown and I was super busy. Like people, I think, were just at home staring at their stuff like, this is chaos. I can't deal with this
anymore.
True
that, yeah.
So they called me. And it was kind of nice because we usually just work one-on-one. So I'd wear a mask if they wanted me to or not. But it wasn't like a huge risk,
Yeah, for sure.
So I still got to work plenty, which was good. Recently, the last 2 to 3 months, I've been insanely busy. So that's awesome. Yeah, it's like maybe it's a spring cleaning thing. I don't know, but I'll take it.
Do you usually get like a spring cleaning thing every year?
I think so.
You've been about 4 years in business, so you can start to get some data of things like that. Do you see an uptick kind of?
Yeah, so people start thinking about their garages in spring and summer and yard sales, and they're like, oh, I just want to get rid of stuff, and the kids are home, and some people travel, but some people don't, and they just need that extra help. So, yeah.
Do you work with any junk removal companies?
I know a guy from a junk removal company. I can't remember his name right now.
I've had two of them on, two junk removal companies on this show.
I think I knew one of them.
There's Ray Whitcomb and there's Matthew Biera.
Oh, those aren't the names I was thinking of.
Okay. But I know that those your guys' companies actually could very complement each other. They could send work to you. You could send work to them, and because you guys are dealing. I'm not saying you're dealing with junk, but a lot of times you probably are,
Yeah.
Like a lot of clutter, probably a good % of it is junk.
It's so true. Yeah. And people ask me all the time for house cleaners, handymen.
Yeah.
They need
Oh
to
yeah.
fix
You're connected
things.
with Maria, right?
Maria Schoening.
Yeah.
Yes. I always love recommending her. She is like top notch, great reputation. And she was on the show. Yeah,
Yes, she was on the third episode actually.
Third?
And she came back on. We had to get her back on in the studio.
Of course.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
And yeah, so I think she might have been our mutual connection, maybe, or maybe just Facebook. I don't know, but
it could be.
Actually, I do. I had her on the show, and I think she recommended you. I think that's what happened. I think that's
awesome.
what happened.
Thanks, Maria. You're awesome.
Yeah. So actually, we're gonna start. We're gonna roll the intro music, and then we'll get more into the episode. This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs, doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. Yeah, you said it. You should have said it so it would have been in there.
Oh man, I didn't want to mess up your flow.
Oh no, that would have been perfect. This conversation's actually rolling really, really well. You're easy to talk to.
Thank you, Andrew. You too.
Yeah,
you're in the right line of work.
Yes, I think so. So the thing that I wanted to talk to you about, it was something that Marcus was just saying earlier today. In my folders on my computer, I have a stuff folder.
Oh.
And he's like, we can't have a stuff folder. What are you doing?
Miscellaneous.
It's literally a junk drawer for
on your computer.
on my computer.
Yeah.
So Marcus, he kind of disagrees with the stuff folder. What is your opinions on that?
So I tell people all the time, the whole point is if you can find what you need when you need it. So if you know what's in that stuff folder,
yeah,
and you can find it when you need it,
But when you're
I am
working with
mad at
someone, you kind of both have to be able to find it.
Yeah, you guys need to find a system that works for both of you.
Yeah. So the
Agreed.
stuff folder probably is not a good one.
Yeah,
it's
maybe
good
you
for
can
me
find
though.
a compromise.
Yeah. For me, I love the stuff folder. It's actually something that I'm proud of. Because on my desktop, you got my computer, my whatever, and I got my stuff.
Yeah.
And so what I do is like, I work with a lot of projects, editing and stuff like that. Woo. And got a lot of hand motions going on here.
That's good.
I still want that back though.
Yeah.
That was my little thingy.
Fidget
thingy.
band.
And I got a lot of stuff that goes on there. A lot of things don't really have like a specific folder that they really belong. Or there's so much stuff on there, it would take a lot longer to organize all of it than it's necessary. When I can just throw the miscellaneous stuff into the stuff folder, and then anytime like I can't find something, I know to look in the stuff folder.
Oh, I like that.
So and then when the stuff folder gets too big, I'll throw it on like a external hard drive and then put a date on it, and then just so I'll be able to find it then, and then I'll have a blank stuff folder on my desktop because my computer fills up with data so fast. Doing this podcast, like if we shot this podcast in 4K, we would be like spending like a couple $100 just on hard drives, so a couple $100 a month just on hard drives.
Wow.
So we don't do that. We don't shoot in 4K. But yeah, that was a little tangent about my organization a little bit. I know you don't do the computer stuff. I think we talked about that last time.
Right.
Kind of like, do you work with computers? Like kind of organizing in there because it kind of folds into the same category in a way. Because having a disorganized computer desk.
Yeah.
Outside and inside, can cause what's the main problem of having disorganization in your life?
You cannot focus on anything.
That's it.
And you're frustrated, just in a constant state of, I don't know, fight or flight is the first thing I'm thinking of, but like tension.
Yeah. Anxiety, kind of. You're not. Yeah, it's exactly. It builds up, and you feel so relieved when things are organized and clean. Like this would probably help me out a little bit if I organized that.
5 minutes, little bits and pieces. 5 minutes.
Yeah. But yeah, so we talked a little bit about how you've kind of business has been. These second episodes are a little interesting because I usually have like questions prepared, and but we've already been through those questions. Yeah. So now it's just like. Let's talk. Let's just talk.
I love it. I love being put on the spot. That's like kind of my favorite thing. That's why I liked 1 Million Cups. It's just like a cool question and answer, like on the spot. Here you go. Just talk about what you love and what you're good at and how it works for you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I thrive in that.
Yeah. I was pretty nervous talking about going up on there, like, but when I got into the Q&A, it was very, very easy. And this is my second coffee of the day, and I think I'm feeling it.
Pretty
I don't
sure
think was I just this chatty? So. Was I this chatty on the last one?
Where'd you get that coffee from anyway?
Caribou Coffee.
Oh.
Right over there. It's close.
Okay. I was just curious what coffees around here. I never come downtown.
Okay. I would recommend Okay, nice. Okay. I would recommend going to Solar Roast Coffee or the Exchange is really good. The Coffee Exchange is what they used to call it, but they lopped off the coffee. They do serve alcohol too, so maybe that's why they lopped it off.
Maybe that's why.
But it's mainly a coffee. It's a coffee shop. You can go there to work.
Okay.
It is an amazing environment too. Like upstairs, they have the space where that's above everywhere. Like here's the coffee shop down here. And they have this thing that's elevated, like on the stairs, where you could just see into the coffee shop and see out of it. And it's got couches up there. It's really cozy. And
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a good little work spot, and it's a good place. And they are not paying for sponsorship yet.
Be a good opportunity.
Yes,
just saying.
We need to get coffee.
Good spot to be on.
For sure. We've reached out to a bunch of coffee shops.
Did you? Did any?
We had some interest. Interest, but we've not closed in on any of them yet. So we haven't really been trying as hard as we could either. So if we really tried, we could probably get a coffee sponsor tomorrow. Yeah. But we got other things to do.
Always.
He's got a big event he's working on. I've been getting really busy with my business. So. And that hasn't taken away from the podcast. We still committed to 2 episodes a week. Last week we did miss one, but we still are making things happen. And we didn't miss it because we weren't here. We missed it because the scheduling didn't work out with the person who was supposed to come. Like we've switched the calendars a little bit, and so some of the calendar app we use, they've also updated some of their stuff too. So it's kind of messed up how I usually do it.
Yeah.
So I've just had to adjust to it. And so basically what happened is it didn't send him the reminder the day before, and we booked it like a month ago, and he didn't even see it on his calendar either. So it just happened. Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. No worries though, because honestly, I've been really busy, so it's kind of a relief.
It's nice to have those random afternoons off where you're like, oh, I get to do all the things that I've been meaning to do and never have time to do. But really, it's just there's things that come before that, and those get pushed to the back burner. So yeah, I have those random days off too. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure. Like maybe like someone you had someone booked, and then they wanted to reschedule, and it was like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
But there's always something to do. So.
Oh, always. When you're a business owner, there's your to-do list never ends.
Yeah. No, for sure. So you're getting married here soon, right?
I am in September.
Okay.
To Mr. Justin Hall. I'm very excited.
Congratulations.
About it. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It seems like I'm at that age. We're at that age.
Yeah.
We're like pretty much all three of us are pretty much 30.
Right.
You guys are. I'm not. I'm not yet. And we're at that age where everyone's getting married, and they say that, when you're like your early 20s, like you see, people around this age talking about that. Oh, everyone's getting married but me, but blah, blah, blah. But
true.
I was like, is that true? But now I'm actually seeing it happen. Like. My little brother's getting married, and you're getting married. That's awesome, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time coming. I was single for 5 years before I met Justin.
Okay.
A lot of my friends got married in that time, and it was hard because I'm like sometimes older than them, and I'm like, man, I really want to get married. I want to find a good guy, but I really wanted to wait for somebody I'd actually want to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
When you actually think about, I'm going to spend decades with this person, I'd rather wait 5 years and find a good person than rush into it and make not a great choice. So
I feel you. Yeah.
I was like trying to be really patient, and it was worth it.
Yeah. Does he help out with the business at all?
With his moral support and encouragement,
yes.
100%.
Awesome.
Yes. But he's very different. So he works like a regular job. I mean, he is a delivery driver. So half his job is truck driving, half of it's manual labor, unloading pallets and stuff.
Okay.
And so his job is just so different than mine. He works alone. He works overnights. He does a lot of manual labor. Mine is like sometimes manual labor, but also just working one-on-one with people and talking to them. And
yeah.
it's just very different. But he's always encouraging me and stuff.
That's awesome.
So it's great.
So I know we probably talked about this on the last episode, but who is your ideal client? Just for anyone watching right now, just again, like who is someone, if they're watching right now, they would be the perfect person for you?
Well, my business really appeals to moms. They have a lot to juggle, right? So, kids, husbands, the domestic responsibilities that they usually have. And they just feel overwhelmed. I help a lot of people who are just overwhelmed with clutter. They just have so much stuff. They don't know what they own. They don't know where it is. They come home every day and it's like, I wish my house felt different. They just want to feel peaceful at home, and they don't. So they end up shoving clutter into places they can't see it. But then it gets to the point where it's like, I have to deal with this. Yeah. So most people find me on Google. Most people search for organizers in Colorado Springs, and they do that in the wee hours of the night where they're ready to have a meltdown, and they're just frustrated. Yeah. So to sum it up, my ideal client is a person who's overwhelmed with stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's some of the things that you've done that you're most proud of?
I recently helped a client, and I guess I'm still helping him. He lives up in Denver, so we schedule like once a month. But he was overwhelmed with trash in his apartment. So basically he got stuck with his everyday life, sitting at home after he lost his job from COVID, was playing video games and eating and just like not taking care of his trash. And it got to the point.
A lot of pizza boxes?
Pizza boxes, yeah. And it got to the point where he was like, I can't do this alone. Like, it's overwhelming. And so I got to go help him clear out all of this trash from his apartment.
And he just searched organizers.
Well, unfortunately, what happened was his apartment complex gave him an ultimatum and said, "We're going to have to evict you if you don't clean up your apartment."
How did they know?
I don't know, actually. I didn't ask for the details on that.
Okay.
I'm assuming they passed by and saw through the window, or they went in to go fix something. I don't really know. But
that's probably what happened, yeah.
Yeah. I met a woman recently who referred me to his apartment complex management. Yeah, it was awesome. And he called and was like, "I'm embarrassed. I'm stuck. I'm frustrated. What do I do?" I'm like, "I'm going to come help you." And it was so funny because we talked at like 8:30 at night, talking about being a business owner. You've always got stuff to do.
Yeah.
That was like when I could fit him in that day. And I wanted so badly to just drive to his house right then and help him. I was so excited. But I don't know.
Is there some kind of relief you get when you take a mess and make it look nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. There's even times during a session where I get like this high almost where I just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting.
That's
like,
awesome.
It is really cool. It's like an endorphin rush, but my clients can get that too. And I like taking before and afters because sometimes you get so into the project, you don't realize how much progress you've made. And then you can go back and look and be like, whoa, wow, that's drastically different.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you lose sight of that when you're in the middle of it. But anyway, I was proud to be able to help him. And sometimes I'm the only person that gets the opportunity to help somebody like that. They don't have their friends or family come over and they just find me on the internet and they're like, "Gosh, I hope this lady's nice."
Yeah, for sure.
And I just feel like so honored that I get to do that. So that's just one example.
So they referred you the apartment. Someone referred you to the apartment complex. Is that typical for you?
No, that's the first time I've actually heard that that's happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say about 80% of your business comes from Google search?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
How did you get to that?
How did I get to being found on Google?
Yeah. I mean, just break down the basics. Like I know how to get that set up, but for anyone listening, kind of who might not know how to get found on Google, can you break that down for us a little bit?
Sure. Well, one of the first things I did was get my business on every website I could think of. YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram.
Backlinks.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Just like making myself more known on the internet. And then I worked hard on getting Google reviews. If you search for organizers in the Springs, I have more reviews than all the other ones.
I've got one on yours. I reviewed you, Emmett.
You did.
Yes.
Thank
and
you,
I think you
Andrew.
reviewed me too as well.
Because that's so valuable for
It really
small
is,
businesses. It means the world. And honestly, this is kind of a side note, but my Google reviews have made me cry before. Like, just the nice things people say about you. It's so affirming, and it just means the world.
I feel it, yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Whether it's Google reviews or any kind of review.
Yeah. People are like taking the time to say what they think about you and your business, and
one of the best reviews I got was a video review that I was doing. Like it was I did a video for them, and at the time I was trying to record first time reactions. Kind of, I guess it's not a review, it's a reaction, which is like it's better than a review.
I guess I can't picture what you mean.
So I show them the video and record their reaction.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And one of the persons I did it for, like, because when I do videos, a lot of the kinds of videos I do, I really tell people's story. And this guy had like a really rough story. And so his transformation of where he was and then to where he is now, and then seeing that on video, it made him tear up. And so I was like, that was the best review I could have ever gotten.
That's phenomenal. Can I ask who that person was?
Chad Weller.
Oh, I don't know him.
Yeah. He's in LA now.
Okay.
He's a not transformational, high performance life coach. Like he runs like 100-mile marathons, and
goodness.
Yeah.
Go Chad.
It's actually crazy. The person who we just had on last, not who is here, but who just aired on our show. He's from Miami. Flip Aguilera. He's from Miami, and when he came out here, we connected on Facebook, and one of our only mutual friends was Chad. Chad actually used to party with him in Miami, like back in the day. Like,
whoa, that's unreal.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So yeah.
That's awesome. I like that reactions thing.
Yeah, maybe you could do some things like that potentially. Yeah. I mean, you usually work with them through the process. Is there any times where you're not with them, or is it always with them?
90% of the time I'm side by side with my clients, but there is the rare time that I organize for them and then I get to show them.
Yeah.
And you're right, those reactions are so awesome.
Yeah.
I had one lady recently, like, she just couldn't stop. She was like, how did you, I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
Like, I just surpassed her expectations, which was fun because I just like got so into the project. I couldn't, help myself. So it was just normal for me, but she was like really wowed by it, and it made me feel really good.
Next time you do that, ask them beforehand, see if you can record their reaction.
That's smart.
And then that would be good media for you. Good way, a really powerful way to promote your business, because it's not only showing what you do, it's really showing what you do, which is the actual thing that you do, which is outside of organizing, which is changing people's lives.
Wow.
So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Thanks, Andrew. That is a great tip. Remember that.
Yeah, no problem. Just it's recorded, so
yeah.
And I try to do that when I'm on the show. Take it or leave it to anyone who's a guest or listening. But if I have an idea, I like to share it. I don't like to hold on to it.
That's good. Ideas are meant to be shared.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that's why I like TED Talks, I guess.
TED Talks are cool. What's one of your favorite TED Talks?
I don't have a favorite. I'm really bad at favorites, actually, because I like so many things for so many different reasons. Yeah. So it's like hard to say. But if I would say one that sticks out in my mind, I'm going to like 3, 4, 5. So this isn't one that's necessarily my favorite one, but it's one that's in my mind. The Simon Sinek one was one of the first ones that really like went viral, like as a TED Talk. And it was the reason why I did that, or the reason why it's like special too, is because the video quality is just so crappy, but it still went viral.
Wow.
Like, so it's like the idea is the actual thing that's worth sharing. That's what their tagline is, actually. Ideas worth sharing.
I've seen that pop up on my YouTube recommended videos.
Oh, nice.
I think.
Okay. Well, I mean, ideas worth sharing is the tagline, is Ted's tagline.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay, because I'm like, that's familiar to me. Why?
Yeah. And then I did enjoy Scott Mescudi, which is Kid Cudi. His TED Talk was pretty good. That one sticks out in my mind. Ty Lopez's TED Talk is actually pretty badass. It's kind of before he, was the internet guru guy, the social media guru kind of, That's
I
what
don't know Ty Lopez.
That's what he does. But he actually, I seen his TED Talk, and he talked about this book that was written by Sam Walton. It was not written by him, but an autobiography. I went and listened to that book, and that book was like amazing for me to hear how Sam Walton, started Walmart, and like how badass he was. Like he built up a store that wasn't a Walmart that was like a bad store that was like it was basically going out of business. It wasn't doing well. And it was in like some southern state. He went there, moved there, he built the store up to be good, and then they just took the store out from underneath him. They're like, yep, it's our store now, even because it was already their store. And they're like, but really he built it up to like, he was innovating things, like having those mass displays in the front, that was a Sam Walton thing. Wow. And now it's common. You see that all the time, just having a big surplus out in the parking lot, that was a new thing. Like, and then it drove sales. It was like just innovating on stuff like that. So that drove him to start Walmart, start his own thing. And then, that company that he worked for is gone. Like, they're not even around anymore,
Wow.
So, but Walmart
Isn't
definitely
that wild?
is.
You can take like your greatest misfortunes and turn them into your launching pad for success.
I think that's actually typically how it goes, like someone gets told no and they're like, no.
No to your no.
Yeah, exactly.
Do not accept your no.
For sure. And yeah, do you have any stories like that with your business?
I don't know. In general, I just think about how I never knew in my life I'd be a business owner. Mm-hmm. And so I started this business not even understanding that it would be a huge path of personal growth for me in almost every sense of the word.
Nice.
So I look back on when I started my business and now, and I'm like, I am drastically different in all the best ways. It's like, it really challenges you in every sense of the word. That's so generic, but I don't know how else to expound on it without just like telling you my whole life story.
Well, what are some of those changes that you've noticed between you before Grace to Organize and post Grace to Organize?
Well, one that's sticking out in my mind is just how I interact with other people. I, growing up, was like extremely shy, awkward, dorky.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And like now I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like I look back and I think, oh, that's fine. But you don't want to stay that way. You know, you want to outgrow that. And so actually having to go to strangers' homes and say like, this is what I do and this is how I can help you and this is what I charge, and just to have that kind of confidence. It took me like a year and a half to get to that place, but that was a drastic change for me. I'm so proud of that growth.
Was it hard at first?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was awkward, you know, it
Yeah.
was like, so how are you going to help me? And I'm like, I guess I'll just, I don't,
Yeah, okay.
you know, and they're like, okay. And thank God people still hired me, even though I wasn't very good at explaining what I did.
Yeah.
And it was awkward too, because organizing is a natural gift and talent for me.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to articulate it to people, at least until I had done it for a couple years. And then I started making these connections of like how I could say it well, you know, in a way that made sense. And so I would just kind of show up and be like, hey, you should hire me. Not really sure why, but I know it'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay. And they would, and then it would be great. But yeah, that was a big deal.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. I'm noticing just a little bit if you could make sure you're just a little closer to the
like
mic.
this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can bring
Sorry.
it closer to you a little bit.
Okay.
I just want to make sure the audio is good. Now I'm sounding like Joe Rogan, you know, because he's always telling his guests to get closer to the mic.
Hey, whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
This is your production. We want it to be good.
No, for sure. Exactly. Yes. Okay. So any organizing tips you have any new developments?
So I want to share this because I think it's kind of cool, and I haven't, you know, said much about it. But I came up with a new term. I hope nobody's ever used it before, but it's micro-organizing.
Okay.
So I started reflecting on myself, my own life, and how I stay organized. And the way I do that is anytime in my home or my spaces that I notice something's out of order, I fix it. I don't procrastinate on it. So I started realizing the reason people get so overwhelmed is because they put projects off for weeks, months, years, or decades. And the way to avoid that is to do micro-organizing.
Micro.
Yeah, so you do tiny little projects here and there. Anytime that you notice that you can make an improvement in a space, do it. Trial and error, and don't be afraid to figure out later, hey, that wasn't the best way, but I'm going to try something new.
Okay.
So it's very creative.
Yeah.
Like earlier you mentioned this, and I'm like, that'd probably take 5 minutes
Yeah.
just to tidy up, and then you're going to feel better. And that's micro-organizing.
Let me organize it right now.
Okay.
Okay.
See how long it takes you.
Let's do this. Okay. So this goes in my bag, but then
Okay.
sometimes it doesn't go in my bag, so it goes right here.
Does it need a bag? Can you get rid of the bag?
This is camera gear, so I
Okay.
need this for when I need it, and this one probably could stay in the
Oh.
bag. This one's actually empty, so it could probably go in the trash.
Look at that. We're decluttering right now.
Okay, so it's actually, I'm not gonna throw this away. It actually does have
It
a
is
purpose.
nice.
It's
yeah.
purple and stuff. I like purple.
But like, see, that's a good example. So
so I'll just throw it in my junk drawer.
there you go.
Is that a good idea?
Don't tell your organizer you're doing that.
Yeah. This is my stuff drawer.
Yeah.
And then we got this little chip over here. This is all camera stuff. And
Okay.
this is a guide that goes to, that actually can go in that bag over there. I'm going to put it in the bag.
Do it, Andrew. See what happens? You just get motivated when there's somebody to organize with you.
Yeah.
This is how it goes with my clients. They're like, oh, I would have never gotten this done without you being here. And I'm like, well, you would have, but it might have taken you longer. You would have procrastinated possibly, but
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get to that for a long time.
look at that. We're just getting stuff done.
Yeah. We're live organizing. And then this, I don't know where it goes.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's okay to leave stuff out.
Okay.
It's totally
Then we
fine.
got to fix this.
I tell people organizing is knowing what you own, why you own it, and where to find it.
Okay.
It's really that simple. So,
But if it causes clutter and stress, then that's not good then.
right, but to me, clutter is like, I don't know what's in there. That's more like when it gets stressful. If you can look and see what's here, and even if it's visual clutter, but you know why it's there, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You're right, and it's not really in the camera that much. Oh, it is actually. And so is this. That's the reason why. We don't want it in the camera, so that's not a good spot for
Fair
it.
enough.
So
Good job.
I don't know what to do with it.
It's all good.
All right. So we did some live organizing here with Grace. I can't say Charissa.
I do tell people to call me Grace because ever since I was born, people have struggled with, oh, what's her name? So I get Clarissa, Charissa. Fun fact, when I was 15, I got my first job at Nautica. I worked at a men's clothing store.
Okay.
And the guy that worked there kept trying to come up with a nickname for me because everybody had one, but my name was so hard. And then he one day realized, I can call you chorizo. Like
chorizo.
Mexican sausage. And I was like, I actually really like that.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I'm glad you do too.
Yeah, but Grace is the best nickname, and it's easy to remember. So,
and we talked a little bit about the origin of that, kind of with what your name means, right?
Yeah. So Charis is the Greek word for grace.
Okay.
So my name literally means grace.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm never offended if people call me that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Works
I wonder
out.
what Andrew means. Probably just Andrew.
I could make something up. I don't know.
Have you ever Urban Dictionary'd your name?
No, I'd be a little nervous to do that.
It's kind of funny. Everyone has something on their name in Urban Dictionary, and it's usually something ludicrous and ridiculous and offensive.
Yeah, that's what would make me hesitate.
Yeah.
My humor, I've learned over the years, is very wholesome. I even took this test. It's
Okay.
like, what's your humor style? So things that make me laugh would include Disney movies. Oh.
Okay.
Like things that are a little too offensive. I hate to say it, but I just don't find them as funny.
It's not your style.
It's not my style.
Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
So I avoid Urban Dictionary
Yeah,
because
so
I'll
don't-
be
so-
like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah. Don't go to any open mic nights then. Or
Actually, I've gone to some open mic nights.
Okay.
And I'm okay with it because it's a creative sort of like
okay. Yeah.
vibe.
Because usually about like 80% of them are pretty vulgar.
Yeah.
I guess
been to,
depending
like,
on which
3
one
or
you're going to.
4. I actually spoke at an open mic twice.
You did the
Here
open mic
in-
thing?
Yeah, here in Colorado Springs. I wrote poems and I went up there and like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I meant a comedic open mic, a little different.
That is a little different.
Yeah, because I forget open mics apply to even music and poems and
That's
stuff.
what I was imagining.
So yeah, I'm in a comedic.
Got
open
it.
mic,
Okay, yeah, not my jam.
Yeah, because most of that comedy gets pretty vulgar, and it's also a lot of the times by comedians who are new at it. So sometimes it's offensive and not funny. So
So they're learning.
yeah, they're learning.
They're in process. Hey, did you meet? There is a comedian that moved here recently from California. Mel
Austin. He's on the show. He was on the show.
Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't tell if he was on your show or if you hadn't heard of him yet. But
We've had 2 comedians on the show so far. Chad Huto. I don't know if I say his last name right, but the cowboy comedian, and then Mel Austin, and then we have Brian Sullivan coming on in July, the end of July. So,
Cool.
and Brian Sullivan, he's a pretty good comedian too. So
That'll
yeah.
be fun.
Yeah.
Are you gonna put him on the spot and be like, "Tell us a joke"?
Oh, he's probably good at that too. Like he does like these roast things, kind of like. So you have to think on your feet. So he's definitely good at that stuff. So maybe I might have him do a little set or something. I don't know. That'd be fun.
It'd be good practice for him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's got a lot of practice under his belt. So.
Really?
But it's always good to train though, for sure.
Yeah. So can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
What is one business or person or something that you would love to have on the show that you haven't?
Well, I'll just say this off the bat. Gary Vaynerchuk. We want to get Gary Vaynerchuk on the show.
I would watch that.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited for that. He's the reason why the show started, and I'm keep speaking it into the universe because it's gonna happen. He actually gave me the idea to the show. On like he not personally, but I was listening to some of the things he was saying, and he literally said start your city name business podcast.
What?
And he explained the reasons why you want to do it, and like really broke it down, like the benefits from it. And so I was like, oh, I heard that, and I was like so excited. As soon as I heard him say that, I was like, duh, that's no brainer. I'm gonna do it. I was driving to Ellicott to where I was staying, and when I was listening to the episode, and like I literally got there, made the Spotify, made the podcast, made everything, like made the image. I made a trailer for the podcast, which is what is the intro now.
What?
So yeah.
The original intro.
Yeah, the original. It is the original. Well, it's not the original intro, but the words are the same. But I just re-recorded it. I memorized
it.
the words, and I emphasized things a little better. Colorado
That's
Springs.
cool. There you go.
And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we need to contact Gary. Have you ever written to him?
I just tweeted at him earlier this week. I said, "How many retweets do I need to get for you to fly out to Colorado and come on the podcast?" And
what happened?
Nothing happened. But I was shot in the dark. I was feeling good. I was like, this could happen. I've tweeted at him before, and he liked it like a year ago. And so definitely, that's definitely. If you want to reach Gary Vaynerchuk, Twitter is probably the best way to get at him. That's him.
He does go on Twitter a lot.
That's actually where he first grew his platform. He was like one of the first people to have like 1 million followers, and he really blew up his platform on Twitter by like 6 hours a day, just replying to tweets, commenting, like really putting in the work to build it up, actually communicating, actually, adding value to conversations. And then once you do that, you can get a percentage of people to get curious about you, and then, follow you, and then it builds from there, and then you get a retweet here, and then it, spreads. That's what Twitter's so powerful is, because it's really sticky. By that, when I say sticky, like things can like really catch.
Interesting.
And really get into the Twittersphere.
That's funny.
I learned that word from Ice Cube in 21 Jump Street. But that's actually what they call it. He said, "Y'all, the Twittersphere." No, I don't know. He was like an asshole in that movie. It was funny.
That's funny.
But,
well, if I happen to run into Gary Vaynerchuk at any point, I will be like, I have a person to connect with.
Yeah, he'll come out here. I think he wants to come out here. He's been out here before for Bomb Bomb, which is a big company.
Oh.
It's in one of those bigger buildings. I'm in one of the bigger buildings.
You are. That's how I found you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that looks legit. That's where he's at.
Yeah. But outside of that, like, I think more specifically, you were probably not talking about like celebrities.
I wasn't,
maybe,
but that was a fun answer.
Yeah. Like a business.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I just want everyone. I really just want a variety. I want to keep some new people coming on, but I guess I would like to. It'd be interesting to have the mayor on, I think. And I think that would actually be very easy and doable. He's probably even caught wind of the show.
That's cool.
Most likely. I mean, there's a chance. Just because some of the connections that I'm connected with, are connected with him. So
Yeah.
But that's a possibility. I think that would be interesting because as a mayor, you have to. It's like being a business. Being in business, you have to do the things that businesses have to do to be elected, kind of, like go out and network.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Have you ever had an attorney?
I just met an attorney recently, and I forgot to ask him to be on the show, and I regretted it because it was like 2 days ago. And I was like, dang, I should get him on. I'll add him. I'll add him on Facebook and get him on. He's actually from Kansas City, too, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
And he's an attorney and a lawyer, which means that you've passed the bar, and he's done all of it. So.
Oh my gosh, that's funny because people use that word interchangeably, or those words interchangeably.
Yeah, he said that one of them is both of them, meaning that you have to have the other one to get this one.
Oh.
And but yeah, so I forget how he said it, and I don't want to be wrong. So
Watch it, yeah.
But
cool.
But yeah, so I don't know, Marcus, who would you like to have on the show? Getting Linda Wise on. Yes, we would like to get Linda Wise on.
Linda Wise. I know Elisa Wise.
I just had a meeting with her yesterday.
We know all the same people.
Yeah.
She's part of the Colorado Springs Conservatory.
Music, yep.
Okay.
And it's a lot for kids and stuff, like kids in high school and in middle school and stuff like that, and developing like art, just general arts, like performance arts kind of. Okay. Sweet.
That'd be interesting.
Let's get Linda Wise on, and we were already in conversation with her. Saturdays just don't work for her, so we kind of have to figure something out. Which we can do that sometimes, but we don't like to do that because we have a system, and it really helps us stay on task and stay on track and organized. And
love it.
and yeah, so we don't really like to do that, but we may do it occasionally. We've done it a few times, and the Saturdays, recording on Saturdays is only like a couple months old process that we have anyways.
Yeah.
But we want it to be a steady process, and you do that by making sure that you consistent with it.
Yeah. That's why Calendly is good. I use Calendly for my business too.
Same, yeah.
And I like it a lot. It's a great platform.
Do you have the pro version?
I do. I added that because it used to be that you could only have one event type for free, and I wanted more than one event.
Yep.
Because I have consults and organizing. And then I do like a Zoom class every once in a while. I'll put that on there. And so I want to add as many events as I want.
Yeah.
So
and that's one benefit of it too. One of the main benefits I utilize with it is the free version doesn't have the automatic reminders and follow-ups. So I have a reminder that's set 24 hours before the meeting. So yesterday you got one at 12:30.
I did.
And
I can confirm.
Yes. It was a confirmation, a confirmed confirmation. And then you'll get one, I think, 5 hours from after your meeting today. And we had that set up last time as well.
Yeah.
But those are powerful because that follow-up gives you all the links you need to share it. And obviously your episode won't be released until like Saturday, but next Saturday.
Yeah.
But
you mean you can't do it instantly?
Yeah, it's, we could though. we have the technology.
I'm sure you do, but
we like to promote it, and we like to make a picture, and we like to add copy to it so that it's interesting. I don't think I was adding compelling copy when your first episode was on, so it's gonna be fun to do a little write up on you.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
About that.
The first one I did was in November, and it was Rachel Richards, and she had an interesting kind of a bio. She's had some good achievements in her life, and so I decided to write some copy just based off of those achievements because it was easy, because I didn't have to go digging for it, because it was like that's like what she says first, like she's branding herself to those main achievements that she has, because she does teach people in that area, which is financial stuff. Okay. But so I wrote that on her. It had some really like interesting facts, like how she's making $15,000 a month, passively.
Oh, I remember this one.
And that was the first one I wrote like good copy on. And ever since then, I've been focused on writing good copy. And it's also honing my skills of creative writing and stuff like that. And I use this one as an example all the time just because I like the way it started. It was on a dark Alaskan night. And, and it just started out like that.
That's fun.
And so it's like kind of compel people to get in there. So we're going to write that on you.
Cool.
And we're going to I'm going to use like a Greek goddess.
All right. Well, why did you say Alaskan for hers?
No, Alaskan was someone else's. Yeah.
Oh,
that was a different one.
Okay.
But that was like the second or third one I was doing, and it's because this guy, he lived in Alaska, and Peter Lynch, he lived in Alaska, and he has this story. He was like, he used to consider himself a loser and all this stuff, and he was going through some things, and on a dark Alaskan night, he went out and just bloodied up his fist on like harsh snow. Like, I don't know. And so kind of like, that's how I started out that copy.
Wow. And did that change his life, or what happened?
No.
See, now I'm intrigued.
This is okay. Cool. Exactly. That's what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
And so it led him down a path of realizing that he can't be living like that. Really, he realized, it wasn't punching the ice that did it, but that was kind of like after that, kind of he realized that he needed to start changing things in his life, and he started doing that, and he started like. He found like some coaching, some mentoring and stuff like that. And that put him on the path. He changed his life, and he wants to help change other people's lives. So that put him on the path of being a coach himself. So yeah.
That's a great story.
And it's funny because I said coach himself. I think his Instagram is like not P himself. Peter. That's funny. It's something himself, but yeah. That was good.
Now I have to look up his Instagram because
yeah, that's good. I'm glad I'm doing that because I like to plug people and get people's intrigued, especially for other episodes. If you guys want to go listen to that episode, if it's intrigued, we're about to wrap this episode up anyway. So just hop off this one, go to that one, and then go listen to Grace's old episode. I really want to say her name, I really do, but I really am so sad that I can't.
It's hard.
It's not even hard.
Okay, this is how my mom would say it. She would tell people it's like charisma. Without the M.
Carissa.
Is that helpful?
That is helpful, yes.
Okay. That's how she always told people.
I like it, yeah.
But it's been my whole life constantly, so I literally take zero offense to it.
Okay, sweet. But I feel bad, so
I get that.
So I gotta organize that in my mind, and I know I keep dropping these organizing puns, but
I'm not offended by that either.
Okay, sweet.
I actually am kind of impressed that you remember a lot of people's first and last name combos.
Okay.
Because you meet so many people, so like the fact that you even remember any of us is
that's
pretty impressive.
That's one of the things that I built in and made that I built up when I started my business. I was never good with names, but then I made it a point to get good with names, and like. I remember when I first moved out here, I was like, at a bar with a couple friends, and I was like just being a social butterfly and just meeting so many people, and like they were like, yeah, that person over there, and I was like, oh, you mean Mike? And I was like just remembering so many people's names, and that's when I realized that I was actually getting good, because they were like, wow, you know their names, and I was like,
oh, I guess I do.
Yeah, I guess I do.
That's cool.
And yeah, so yeah, that's one little benefit I've gotten out of business. It's kind of something you have to, if you do like a sink or swim challenge, you kind of just learn. You kind of learn how to swim, and you kind of just are forced to adapt. And that's what helped me in a lot of ways. Because I don't know about you, but when I started my business, I just jumped in.
Yeah, me too.
I knew I wouldn't do it if I didn't just jump in.
Yeah. Well, and you realize that, you can only prepare so much for something. And a lot of things you just have to learn as you go.
Yeah.
So my Instagram, for example, I think it was after I was in business for 2 years, I went and deleted all my old posts because I was like, these are cringeworthy now. But you have to start somewhere, and then you just get better, and you realize, oh, I don't like that, or I like this. So I don't know if anybody's listening that's like on the threshold, like, oh, I should start something. Just do it.
Yeah.
You'll get better over time. People will still hire you even if you're not perfect. They don't expect you to be perfect. They just, in my case, they just want help, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to start and put yourself out there, and it is scary, but you'll learn a lot from it.
Yeah, 100%. It's okay. I think it's these headphones, but everything's been sounding good, right? Okay. These headphones are messed up, and so I can't even use them really. Like they're not even good monitors, because that's what we use them for, to monitor. That's why we wear them during the episode, so you can monitor yourself. We can all monitor each other. We're all in the same arena. When we play music and stuff like that, we can all hear it, and so it's like it really.
I thought it was just so we look legitimate.
That's why I started it. It makes it look like a radio show.
Yeah.
Yes, that's part of the reason why.
Yeah.
It's an aesthetic. It definitely does give that feel of I don't know, it just gives a good feel.
Yeah.
And I thought about not having headphones. I've done it before, but ultimately I realized that I do.
Yeah.
We need some new ones, and I don't like these headphones. They cling to your head, like, and then they make my ears sweaty. I don't know if anyone else's ears get sweaty, but I don't realize it until I take it off.
Oh, when I take them off, I'll notice.
But yeah, I think we can start wrapping this up. I think there was something I had that I wanted to say, but I forgot it, so we'll just move on. And is there anything you'd like to promote today?
Oh, thanks for asking. Well, I have been promoting my Zoom classes, so that's one way that I kind of pivoted during the pandemic.
Nice.
I like to add value to people's lives and teach them about organizing and decluttering, so that even if they don't hire me, they can improve. So once a month, I've been doing a Zoom class. And if you go to my website, you can see the details. And that's grace2organize.com. And it's just a fun way to meet other people in the area, learn some tips and tricks. So yeah, I'd love for people to check that out.
Okay, sweet. And they just go to grace2organize.com.
Yep, and you scroll all the way to the bottom. There's my Calendly.
Nice.
And you'll see my consults, my organizing, and then my classes. So.
Well, I hope someone reaches out, and even if they just reach out to say, I loved you on that episode, I want to say hi.
I would love that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, my top love language is words of affirmation. So even if people just say, hey, I liked your shirt or whatever, I'll be like, so grateful.
Nice. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll start wrapping this up. You guys know what to do. Go hit up her website. Go leave her some reviews. Go support her business.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, this has been the COS Business Podcast, and we'll see you guys later.
Later.
Later, losers. Yeah, that was good. Sweaty. Are they sweaty?
No.
Okay.
I have hair though, so
Yeah.
absorbs.
I have like a gene where I get sweaty.
That's an actual thing, hyperhidrosis.
Yeah, my brother gets sweaty hands. I don't.